Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the September new releases that I pre-ordered. So I've done this kind of video a couple of other times on my channel for some previous months, so I will leave a playlist for those linked down in the description below if you want to check those out. But with that out of the way, let's start talking about these new releases now. This was a really good month for new releases for me. I think the best it's ever been, actually, which pretty much just means that there's going to be a lot to talk about today. So these are going to be in release date order, and let's just get going. So first up is As the Shadow Rises by Katy Poole, which is the sequel to There Will Come a Darkness. So for many years, there were 7 prophets who used their visions to end wars and guide nations, that is until they disappeared one day, only leaving behind one final prophecy. This prophecy speaks of an age of darkness and also the birth of a new prophet who is either going to be the salvation or the destruction. This is a multiple POV story that follows 5 different characters whose stories all collide with one another, and it's up to these characters to either save or destroy the world. So There Will Come a Darkness was one of my favorite books that I read last year. I knew I was gonna love it from the second that I saw the title, and for the most part it didn't disappoint. I will say I'm not too sure that I'm thrilled about the way it ended, but it was still a 5-star read and I fell in love with the writing and one of our main characters. So for this book here, I do think I am mostly looking forward to the writing again, but I'm also kind of curious to see where the story goes, even if I don't even know how I feel, honestly. It's like a combination of excited, hesitant, scared, and nervous. Like, I just feel like I'm way too invested in the story at this point to get out of reading the sequel, so I'm just gonna try to have fun with it. But the first book was intense, so I guess I'm just at this book's mercy at this point. So this book comes out September 1st. I have many different emotions about it, and I honestly overall just don't think I'm ready for it. So next I have Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin, which is the sequel to Serpent and Dove. So Serpent and Dove follows our main character Lou, who has just fled her coven in order to hide out in a city where witches are constantly feared and hunted. And then this also follows our other main character Reed, who is a witch hunter. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, him and Lou are forced to marry one another. So I read Serpent and Dove earlier this year, and it was just like a very fun time, probably some of the most fun that I've ever had while reading, and I just love all of the characters and the romance and just all of the ridiculousness that comes with it. Which at the end of the day, that's really all I want from this series. I just want to have fun and laugh and feel many feels from our main couple. I do think that this does have the potential to become one of my favorite series of all time, and my expectations and hopes are just very high, which usually is where things go wrong. But wow, would that hurt if I didn't end up enjoying this. Like, I think it's impossible actually for me to not enjoy this in some way. But even just saying that makes me nervous, but I don't like to think about it, and I've been actively ignoring these thoughts for many months now, so let's just move on now. So next we have Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. So this follows our main character who is going to try to find the ghost of his murdered cousin and set him free. However, what he actually summons is the ghost of the school's bad boy, and this guy refuses to go back to being dead before he finds out what actually happened to him, so our main character is like forced to help him out, and the more time they spend together, the less our main character actually wants him to leave. I have way too many books that I want to read this fall, but this just sounds like something that I'm going to love. Like, the romance sounds adorable, and then there's also like sorcery, and honestly I don't really need to know much else. I don't want to fully commit to reading this book this fall because, like I mentioned, there are many other books that were here first that are going to be taking priority, but if things go well, which they haven't been, but if they do, then I will definitely try to work this in. And then this book also comes out September 1st. Next we have Fable by Adrienne Young. So this follows our main character who was the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows. Her mother died in a storm, and after that her father abandoned her on this island. Her main goal is to get off the island, find her father, and demand a place on his crew of pirates. So this will be the 3rd book by this author that I've bought now, and I have not read any of them yet. I will say they all sound really interesting, and I am looking forward to them all, and this one in particular is like piratey, and I have a weakness for that, so hopefully whichever one of them I read first comes through so it doesn't bring the others down. There aren't really any expectations or hopes for this book that I have. I literally saw that it was like pirate and sea based, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, this comes out September 1st as well, and let's go to the next one. So next up is The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra, Clare, and Wesley Chu, and that is the sequel to The Red Scrolls of Magic. The Red Scrolls of Magic is set in the Shadowhunter universe, and it follows Alec and Magnus as they tour the world together. I am so far behind in this universe, and I just fall more behind with each passing day. I've been reading these in publication order, and I'm on Queen of Air and Darkness now, which is a massive book, and I have not started it yet. I will say that this here is probably the series I am most looking forward to, since Alec is probably my favorite character out of everyone, so I do have zero concerns about on my ability to love this series unless Shadowhunter fatigue hits me, which hasn't happened too hard yet, I don't think, but I just have to get here first, which has been and will continue to be a problem. I don't know, I've been mostly looking at this series as like my reward for finishing all of the Shadowhunter books, so I am very much looking forward to it, and it comes out September 1st, or it came out September 1st. So next I have Queen of Volts by Amanda Foody, which is the finale to Ace of Shades. So Ace of Shades follows our main character N, whose mother goes missing in the City of Sin, and our main character goes there to find her. It is there that she meets our other main character named Levi, who is a gang leader in the city and has its own troubles going on there. These two strike up an alliance, and when Levi's enemies catch up to him, N will need to surrender herself to the city. So I am very curious to see where the story is going in this series, and I mostly just love like the world and the city in here. I thought I liked Ace of Shades when I first read it, but as soon as I finished it, I was like, actually, maybe I'm not too into this, but then I read King of Fools and I got back into it, or at least some parts of the series, and I just want to be in this world, so I'm gonna go give the third book a try. I have no idea what the end result will be, but I want to say I'm optimistic after King of Fools, but then also Ace of Shades is like right there to try to level my expectations, so I think I'm gonna stay neutral on this one. And I want to say this is the last one for this date, but then this also came out September 1st. So next I have Iron Heart by Nina Varela, which is the sequel to Crier's War. So Crier's War was an Own Voices debut, and in this world the Autome, which were originally just designed to be the playthings of royals, have taken over the human race. Ayla, who is a human, wants to avenge her family by killing the Sovereign's daughter Crier, and Crier is an Autome who was made to carry on her father's legacy, but then she starts questioning everything when she meets Ayla. So I read Crier's War earlier this year, and once again I just really love the writing style. Plot-wise I thought it was fine, it was kind of predictable, but nothing that I'm mad at all. I thought it was really solid. Now this book I could get mad at because I really want to see some action in here, and I almost feel like the first book was kind of like a setup for this one, so I really want to see things go down. Like, I'm staying open-minded, but I also just really want this plot to like shock me, and I want to feel the feelings that I usually feel when I'm really invested in a series, because I do feel like I am invested in this story. I guess I just want this book to like destroy me emotionally and also just keep me on the edge of my seat. Like, those are the type of feelings that I'm looking for here, because I really just see the potential for this book to do it. So this book comes out September 8th, and I am really looking forward to it, and I just really hope it doesn't let me down. So next I have Nobody Knows But You by Anica, Mrose, Rissi. So this is a YA thriller that follows our main character Kayla, who is holding on to her best friend Lady's secrets, and despite a rough patch in their friendship, they don't betray each other's trust. And even the murder that happens at the end of the summer cannot change any of that. So this one's pretty simple. I haven't read too many YA thrillers, and the way the synopsis is worded and also just the cover both really got me. I do kind of want to start reading more YA thrillers. I have literally no idea how I feel about the genre at all, but I do have a good feeling about this, and that's really it. And then this book here also comes out September 8th. So the next book is The Other Side of the Sky by Amie Kaufman and Meagan Spooner. So this follows two main characters. One is a prince who lives in a sky city that is powered by technology, and then the other is a goddess of her people on the surface. So these two are linked together by a prophecy, and they have to choose between saving their people or their forbidden bond. There is just so much about this book that I am interested in. First and foremost, the world sounds amazing, and then on top of that there's like a star-crossed lovers thing going on, which if I don't like the romance, that's going to be a huge downfall, but if I do, then that's going to be heart-wrenching and amazing. The cover itself kind of got me here too, I'm not gonna lie, but the actual plot I could easily see myself just falling in love with everything about it. And then once again, this is a September 8th release. So next up here is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. So this follows our main character named Enchanted, who is an aspiring singer, and when this legendary R&B artist named Corey Fields finds her at an audition, it seems like Enchanted's dreams may actually come true. One morning, Enchanted wakes up with blood on her hands and zero memory of the previous night. However, what she does know is that Corey is dead, and all of the signs point to her. It takes a lot for kind of mystery-based stories to interest me, but this one does seem like it dives into, I don't know where this book is set, but like the Hollywood and celebrity lifestyle, which always gets me every time. The plot itself, when I first read it, I was immediately hooked, and I just wanted to know what happened, and if I'm feeling that for like a mystery-based thing, then I really want to run with it and just see where it takes me. And then this comes out September 15th. So next up is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. So this follows our main character who attends a new school after her mother dies and witnesses a magical attack on her first night at campus. She then finds out that her school has a secret society called Legendborn, and a mage who calls himself Merlin tries to erase our main character's memory. However, his failure at this triggers her own magical abilities, and also a buried distorted memory that shows that there was more to her mother's death than the police report said. So I think for this one, I'm just going to do like a quick list of the things that I like about it. A secret society, potential demon fighting team-like dynamics, the magic system, King Arthur lore, and a magical war. Honestly, I was a little hesitant about this book until I saw that it involved like the King Arthur stuff, which I talked about this on my channel before, but when I was a kid, I was really into that, and it seems to just have really infused itself into my reading taste nowadays. So that basically took this book from a maybe to a guarantee, and I'm really excited to see what this has to offer, and it comes out September 15th. So next up is Never Look Back by Lilliam Rivera, and this is like an own voices retelling of the Greek myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. So I do kind of gravitate towards retellings and reimaginings. This story in particular, I'm not sure I'm too familiar with at all, but I also do really like retellings of Greek myths, so I'm excited to not only educate myself on the original version first, but then I'm also excited to see how this book here spins it. And then this also comes out September 15th. So the last book for this video is Crownchasers by Rebecca Coffindaffer. So this follows our main character who would rather spend her days having wild adventures instead of being stuck inside the palace with her family's legacy. However, when her uncle falls gravely ill, instead of naming our main character as his successor, he wants to have a crown chase, which is a competition between representatives of the Empire's top families. Each representative has to try to find this royal seal that is hidden somewhere in the Empire, and the first to find said seal gets the throne. There are many times where I find myself just rolling my eyes whenever I see a YA book that has some kind of competition in it, but then I remind myself that I typically do enjoy competition-based settings, and this book will hopefully be no exception to that. And when I saw that this book was like a competition thing, my initial reaction wasn't a sigh this time, it was actually excitement, so I'm taking that as a good sign. And how much of that is me seeing this cover and immediately wanting to love it, I'm not sure yet. Those lines do tend to get blurred in my mind. But like I said, I just really want to like this book, and it sounds like it's going to be fun, and if I have some fun with it, then that is going to be more than enough for me. It usually is. And then finally, this book comes out September 29th. So those are all of the new releases that I have to talk about today. I do wonder if like October is going to be a slow month for me since like I had so much in this one. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!